Hello children, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn part 2 of an interesting supplementary reader, A Day in 2889 of an American journalist. It was written in 1889 by Jules Verne. It gives us a glimpse of the futuristic world in which people rely on machines for almost everything. The story is set on July 25th of 2889. The story is set in the office block of the managing editor of the newspaper The Earth Herald. Later, it is set in the reporting room as we dealt in the previous session. Then the advertising room, dining room, Niagara, waiting room of the Earth Herald and the audition room. In this session, we are going to learn what is going to happen in the advertising room and dining room and even in Niagara. Francis Bennett, director of the Earth Herald, the world's most leading newspaper, had woken up with a bad temper. He felt a little lonely in the absence of his wife. His wife had been away in France for the past 8 days. He switched on his phonotelephote and hearing his wife's voice, he put on a smile. His mechanized dressing room dressed him from top to toe. In his office, he inquired the astronomical reporters about the latest news. He wished to feed the public with interesting astronomical news. Till this, we have learned in the previous session. Today, let us see what is going to happen in the advertising room, dining room and Niagara. Let us start. On the whole, Francis Bennett had reason to be satisfied. One of the Earth Herald's astronomers had just determined the elements of the new planet Gandhini. It is at a distance of 12,341,348,284,623 meters and 7 decimeters that this planet describes its orbit round the Sun in 572 years, 194 days, 12 hours, 43 minutes, 9.8 seconds. Francis Bennett was delighted with such precision. We all know Earth takes 365 days to revolve around the Sun. So if it is a leap year, then 366 days to revolve around the Sun. So likewise, astronomical scientists, they have given an accurate result, that is, the planet Gandhini is at a distance of 12,348,284,623 meters and 7 decimeters that this planet describes its orbit around the Sun. So how many years does it take to revolve around the Sun? 572 years and 194 days, 12 hours and 43 minutes, 9.8 seconds. Francis Bennett was delighted with such precision. That is, he was very much happy to hear the accurate result of the planet Gandhini. Good, he exclaimed. He congratulated them. Hurry up and tell the reportage service about it. You know what a passion the public has for these astronomical questions. So the public has great interest in knowing these astronomical questions. So I am anxious for the news to appear in today's issue. And Sish, very much worried. He was very much worried for the news to appear in that day's issue. That is, he wants it to be published in that day's issue. Next room, a broad gallery about a quarter of a mile long, was devoted to publicity. Devoted, completely loyal or focused to achieve goal. The next room, a broad gallery. What is the meaning of gallery? This is gallery. So what is displayed in the gallery? Yeah, gallery is a building or room where works of arts are displayed. Here, what is kept means thousands and thousands of projectors are kept. What is the use of those projectors? The projectors are used to display the advertisements to the clouds. It is used for sending the advertisements to the clouds. It is used for sending the advertisements to the clouds. So now, tell me, where are the advertisements displayed? The advertisements are displayed on the clouds. The advertisements are displayed on the clouds. They are gigantic signs. What is gigantic? Gigantic, very big. Reflected on the clouds, so large that they can be seen all over a country. So now you can see where the advertisements are displayed. They are displayed on the clouds. They were continuously projected. They are continuously operated, and in sending the advertisements to the clouds on which they were reproduced in color, and these inordinate advertisements. So inordinate, much greater than usual. So it will be unusually large in size so that the whole country could see this advertisement. At that moment, the clock struck 12. So I think it is a lunchtime. The director of the Earth Herald left the hall and sat in a rolling armchair. Rolling, a wheeled chair propelled by someone or by motor. So he sat on the wheelchair. In a few minutes, he had reached his dining room half a mile away at the far end of the office. So from the office, he reached his dining room within few minutes. He did not take much time in order to reach the dining room. Just he sat on the rolling chair and he reached the dining room within few minutes. The table was laid and he took his place at it. So table was laid. Can you see? The table was laid and he took his place. Within the reach of his hand was placed a series of tabs. Before him was the curved surface of a phonotelephote on which appeared the dining room of his home in Paris. That is, before him, what is there? Mirror. What mirror? The phonotelephotic device. So in the morning when he had woke up, he spoke to his wife, right? And he could see his wife on the screen. So likewise, he had a mirror before him. And what kind of mirror it is? A phonotelephotic mirror. So on which appeared the dining room of his home in Paris. Mr. and Mrs. Bennet had arranged to have lunch at the same time. Yes, so Edith, that is Mrs. Bennet, was in Paris. And where is Mr. Bennet? So Mr. Bennet was in New York and they had arranged themselves to have lunch at the same time. So it gives pleasure to have lunch together. So nothing could be more pleasant than to be face to face in spite of the distance, to see one another and talk by means of the phonotelephotic apparatus. Yes, so now he started to have his lunch. So now I would like to tell you how the lunch is provided. Like everybody else, in easy circumstances nowadays, Francis Bennett, having abandoned domestic cooking, is one of the subscribers to the society for supplying food to the home, which distributes dishes of 1,000 types through a network of pneumatic tubes. This system is expensive, no doubt, but the cooking is better. So, not without some regret, Francis Bennett was lunching in solitude. He was finishing his coffee when Mrs. Bennett, have got back home, appeared in the telephoto screen. Now, whether in the office, in the earth world, domestic cooking was taking place? No. How he could get the lunch? The lunch was transported by a system of pneumatic tubes. They are the systems that proper cylindrical containers through network of tube by compressed air or vacuum. That is, food is transported in pneumatic tubes. What is pneumatic tubes? They are systems that proper cylindrical container through network of tube by compressed air or by vacuum. That is, he subscribed his food to the society so that they will supply the food to the home. They need not prepare any dishes. The dishes will be distributed to their home. He has to pay in advance for it, that's all. But the system is expensive. So they are used for transporting solid objects. The system is expensive, but the cooking is better. So, not without some regret, Francis Bennett was lunching in solitude. That is, what is solitude? State of being alone. He was having his lunch alone. And who is on the mirror? Edith. She was lunching in Paris. She was lunching in Paris. When he had finished his lunch, he went across to the window where his aero car was waiting. "Where are we going, sir?" asked the aero coachman. "Let's see. I have got time," Francis Bennett replied. "Take me to my accumulator works at Niagara." Aero coachman asked him where we were going. Who is aero coachman? A man who drives a coach or carriage can be called as aero coachman. So when he had finished his lunch, he went across to the window where his aero car was waiting. What is aero car? A flying car. Flying car. So this is a flying car was waiting there. And even now we enjoy this comfort. That is, a flying car was invented in year 1949 by Aerocar International. Yes. When he had finished his lunch, he went across to the window where his aerocar was waiting. "Where are we going, sir?" His aero coachman asked where they were going. Let's see, I have got time, Francis Bennett replied. So he had got time. Let us see. Take me to my accumulator works at Niagara. So where his accumulator work? His accumulator works at Niagara. So he wished to have a look at that accumulator. So they went to Niagara. The aero car shot across space at a speed of about 400 miles an hour. Below him were spread out the towns with their moving pavements which carry the wayfarers along the streets and the countryside covered as though by an immense spider's web by the network of electric wires. What do you mean by short? The distance travelled, that is, the aero car travelled at a speed of about 400 miles, that is 643.3 kilometers per hour. Below him were spread out the towns with their moving pavements. What is moving pavements? That is moving walkway. Escalator, you would have seen those in a shopping complex or railway station or airports, which carry the wayfarers. Who are the wayfarers? A traveler on foot can be called as wayfarers along the streets. That is, they need not walk. Just when they stand on the moving pavement, it will take them. And the countryside covered as though by an immense spider webs. Let us just see, so many electrical lines are there. By the network of electric wires, it looks like a spider's web. Within half an hour, Francis Bennett reached his works at Niagara, where, after using the force of the cataracts, what do you mean by cataracts? Cataracts means waterfalls. What is the use of waterfalls? We can produce what? Energy. We can generate electricity from the waterfalls, right? So cataracts means waterfalls. It is used to produce energy. He sold or hired it out to the consumers. Then he returned by the way of Philadelphia. Where is Philadelphia? Philadelphia is the city in Pennsylvania, Boston and New York to Centropolis, where his aero car put him down about 5 o'clock. So he reached Niagara within half an hour. He reached Niagara and he just witnessed how they have produced the electricity, that is the energy, and he sold or hired it out to the consumers. Then after that he returned back to Centropolis. By 5 o'clock he reached it by aero car. I hope you might have understood, my dear children. So we have seen what happened in the advertising room, dining room and Niagara. So the rest let us see in the next class. This is Niagara Falls. Where is Niagara Falls? Where is Niagara Falls? Niagara Falls is in Canada. Thank you for watching.